Hi, my name is Matt Ivaska. I'm going to be presenting on the language experience approach. So the main things we want to answer is first, is what is it, why you should use it, and then how you would use that or incorporate it into the classroom. So the language experience approach is intended to help students learn to read, and it uses the students' actual experiences as the main content for their reading lessons. It's intended for beginning readers, so kindergarten, first grade, even preschool. But it can be used, for students who struggle to learn and move on into the later primary grades, or also more commonly now is also with English language learners, as there's increasing numbers growing in most schools. Um, so for LEA, it basically requires a mutual experience of all students. So a teacher using this approach would want to hopefully provide some sort of experience that all students can draw from. So if it can be incorporated into a class activity like a field trip or a class pet, then that can work out really well for the actual lesson. So why you should use it? Students enter classes with varying levels of ability and knowledge, primarily based on their personal experiences. Um, we have students that are just from like a culturally disadvantaged area. Some of them have a lot more experience, just either traveling or vacations or things like that. Some of them have parents or guardians or brothers and sisters that read to them a lot, others not so much. So you have students that come in, with all sorts of different levels of vocabulary, reading ability, and overall communication skills. So LEA works to put everyone somewhat on a more level ground. So, one of the challenges as any teacher is finding a way to teach all your students because of this varying level of ability, and that's what this can really help do. So, also reading is very abstract to young readers. It's a bunch of letters formed into words, into sentences that all mean something. But to them, what they're actually reading is also kind of a mystery. So when you use this approach, you're giving students much more ownership of what they will be reading. So they create their own authentic text, their own story that they connect to, and so it makes the lesson much more relevant to them as well. Since each student has shared in the experience, hopefully everyone will be able to participate, and in doing so, every student will be exposed to each other's work, which can help expand vocabulary and overall communication ability. So how does it work? So the first step, going from left to right, is that students take turns giving dictation of the experience. So example would be, that you could go around the room, giving each student an opportunity to share or build one sentence onto the story. As the students are giving the story, teachers are going to write exactly what is being said. Any incorrect pronouns or any incorrect tense, you can write that explicitly, exactly as it's said. The teacher then reads the story back to the student and kind of tracks each word, with their hand or marker, just to show what's being read at any given point. Students then take turn reciting the story themselves, and then either the next day or shortly after, you would create sentence strips where the students reconstruct the story. And this can be done in small groups or in individual instruction. Again, teacher is going to help correct students when reading the story back to students. And then each student could write a sentence, to be added to the story. So that way everyone's participating and everyone has a hand in creating it. So that's the the learning experience approach. Um, I had a lot of sources for this, and there's many, many more. So please continue to do your own research, and thank you.